There was a video that came out of New Brighton, Minnesota. Now, there was this council meeting that happened back in October of this year, but this video has been going on social media. It went viral as of recently. So you have the mayor and a few council members are going to discuss white privilege. Now, the mayor and the other council member is going to get pretty upset with one of the other white females because she doesn't acknowledge white privilege. But I want you to hear this video. It is very comical.
We all have white privilege. We don't know what it's like to not have it, because we do. We go everywhere and we have that. We don't know the difference. We don't know what it's like to not have it. And I said, we can't do what, look at who's up here. We can't move forward as all being people of white privilege. We can't, because we don't know the difference of not having it.
Because I'm white, you think I was privileged my whole life? Are you kidding? I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. When they came here, my grandfather came, they didn't speak English, but they assimilated. But I resent that you think that I had white privilege. Everybody I work for or with is usually from another country. And they say to me, here's what they say, is we as Americans don't realize, and it doesn't matter what color we are as Americans, because I believe we are all Americans, is that we are privileged to just live here. So I don't want to think that this body doesn't feel that they can't represent people because they're white. And that, again, to me is just saying, I'm different because of color. No, I might be different because of culture, because of tradition, but those are the things that I think I always ask because I work with these people. I ask about their country, I ask about their families, I ask how it is, how they feel about America, all of that. That's how you get to know somebody. That's how you get to understand where they come from and where their opinions come from. But I don't think you can make such a broad brush and say that we've all been privileged or that we don't understand because we're white.
You are the exact reason we need this commission. If you don't understand white privilege, then you are not representing those people. You're not willing to listen to them. And what you have just said is the most racist.
Excuse me? Don't you ever accuse me of that. You have no basis to say something like that in public, and no basis to say something like that.
Then let me rephrase it. That statement was one of the most racist things I've ever heard.
What statement?
That you are offended by the fact that you're not feeling the white privilege thing. White privilege exists, and it is something that we need to accept in this country. You're interrupting me, and by golly, I'm running this meeting.
We're on camera, and you're accusing me of something pretty big here. It's unacceptable because you have no basis.
You're out of order. You're out of order. No, I have basis for it based on what you just said.
No, you don't.
Well, because you said hi to Bernard, you understand?
Oh, excuse me, I work with people. I probably know many more people of color than you do, and I work with them, so I do not want to have this argument with you, but you're
out of order.
And you're out of line.
Okay, fine. Let me just say this, that the discussion I just heard now makes me so angry. I'm shaking. You refuse to understand how other people in this community feel.
How do you?
But you refuse.
How do I refuse?
Because you're obviously not going to support this. You're obviously not going to support this. And what you're doing.
You don't know what I'm going to support, but I have a
Quit interrupting me.
You're accusing me of things that are wrong.
Quit interrupting me. I'm going to finish my statement. What I heard was a racist statement. What I heard was a racist statement. No. You're just crediting. God damn, Gina, I'm passionate about this. I'm so passionate about hearing all sides of the story. And for you to disregard the fact that white privilege exists is beyond me.
If you enjoy the engaging news and information we present on this channel, would you consider partnering with us on Patreon? Your support helps us to remain your go-to source for news and commentary for only $2 or $5 per month. That's less than a cup of coffee. During the YouTube ad crisis, we faced the horrible idea that our show would have to be shut down. But it was great people like you that made the difference and helped to save our show. We want to give a huge thank you to every difference maker that supported us on Patreon, and make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Now, just to hear that exchange was just funny to me, because the mayor is just upset because this other woman will not accept having her white privilege in America. Now, to me, that is a unproductive conversation. Because, okay, if she acknowledged her white privilege in America, then what? You know about white privilege. What are you doing about that? Because when I looked and I saw that council that was sitting there with you, it was no black people there at all. It was an all white affair discussing white privilege. You see, you have these people who don't want to discuss white supremacy and white privilege. They gonna like, what you mean white privilege? I don't know about that. White supremacy, where that come from? You know, they play dumb. Then you have those that know about white supremacy and know about white privilege, but that's far as it's going to go with them. They'll tell you they feel racism is wrong. They'll tell you that prison industrial complex is wrong. They acknowledge everything that you're saying, but at the end of the day, nothing is going to be done for the black man and the black woman of America. Because at the end of the day, let's just keep it real. Whether it's a conservative, whether it's a liberal, they all on the team of white supremacy. And do you think they really want to give up their unfair advantage they did not work for to lessen that to be equal to everybody else? They're not going to want to do that. Trust me. The only way they will even attempt to do that, they would have to be forced to. But as long as the system of white supremacy is running, they're going to keep on taking advantage of, hey, I am white. I get over in the criminal justice system. They lessen my charges. I do egregious stuff. They say I'm too young to go to jail. Don't want to ruin my life. When I cry that I don't have a job, people listen. When certain women are sexually assaulted, they listen. But if it's, black women or other races of women say it's passed over. I mean, come on. I mean, they really been having a good thing going. Now it's crumbling before them every single day. And that's a good thing for everybody else. But I don't see now one of them putting up a policy that's going to dismantle white supremacy. So arguing doesn't make a bit of sense. And then I also noticed something with the other woman that didn't want to acknowledge her white privilege. She was angry that she called her a racist. And I noticed something with them. They get so hot if you call them a racist or a white supremacist. Oh, they get upset by that. They can even say the N-word. And then they'll say, but I'm not a racist. If you sound like a racist, if you sound like a white supremacist, that's what I'm going to call you. Matter of fact, I always say that with some people, I'm going to assume that's what you are until you prove to me otherwise. Just like the police assume certain things about black people. You see black people dressed a certain way. Oh, well, I think he's a thug. You have no proof of that, him being a thug, but you assume that. So why not? We can't have assumptions to say, you know what, let our assumptions due to history and what happened to us validate our assumptions until they prove us otherwise. I mean, we have to be realistic on some things. The problem with black people is that you live so unrealistic. You allow others to put expectations on you, but you don't put no expectations on them. That's why you have to stop being silly to that. But this whole conversation was just funny to me because none of them going to do anything to break down white supremacy. And they all got up from that table and still benefited from the same white privilege that they was arguing about. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Share the video on your social media pages. Like the commentary, subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell to know when we post new news stories or live streams.